Hello guys and gals, Froggy here. This is an upgrade kit called V-Flex upgrade kit for my Navigator, and it actually contains a lot of other parts that I need on mine. These pods, I think they're called pods, and my wings are not too bad, but it gives you wings. And it does have some directions. I was wondering whether it would have any kind of directions or not on how to install. So I'm going to show you how to do that. My guy was not really traveling all over the bottom of the pool the way he should be, and I had somebody at a pool store look at it, and they showed me a few worn parts and so on. But you know, the new one's around $350, $400 maybe, and what they wanted was a couple hundred, I think, to fix it. And I'm guessing, I think I paid about 75 bucks for this thing, so I can do it myself. All right, here we go. Well, there's some of the parts laid out there and tools needed. It says I can do this in 20 minutes. Well, I'm going to add it a little time because I am filming it, and not a lot of written instructions because they'd have to be in like 12 languages, I suppose. So just pictures. So here we go. It says to take this part off. Oh my, it says don't use a power tool. Huh. Well, I might use one anyway. So let's orient this. So it's that way, like in the picture. And we'll start here. We'll find some leaves and such in there. So we got a total of 3 screws, I guess. One held that on, and then 2 more. That's 3, and then 2 more here. That's 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the one in the middle. That bottommost part comes off. So we take the bottom and flip it over, and then we've got 2 little plugs here on the side if they're still on yours. It shows a picture here of using a little screwdriver to pry those plugs off. So those come off. And the wings come off. You just kind of bend them in the middle and they go over these little hook things. Pods come off on each side with a single screw, it looks like. Maybe we're going to switch to a quarter socket, I believe that is. Okay, there's your quarter socket. A little washer on these. And this should slide off. I need 2 hands. By the way, all this hardware is pretty nice. A little bit of corrosion, but it's all stainless. It's coming apart pretty nice, and this is 20-year-old. Okay, it comes off like that. This has a little flat on it, so it can fit in correctly. So just put a screwdriver in between this and the green part. Okay, I got those, and I'll jump in a little bit ahead of myself though, but I think these will just get thrown away, and the new ones go on, although they don't have those little things right in the center. I do not see that they actually gave you any of those. Huh. So, you'll have to reuse those. This is a consumable item, which you can buy separately, and mine are in good shape. Sometimes they'll be like all worn down flat. I think they have little marks on them when you're supposed to replace them when they get to that little line. I don't know if you can see the little line. Yeah, maybe you can see it. Just like the wings have a little mark on them, and you're supposed to replace it when it gets down to that mark. Alright, so we'll pop those off. Does not look like there's any new design on this new part. Okay, so you're going to take these off here and put them on there. I think it's just a press. And they do that later on, so I'm not going to go out of sequence there. We'll just go on to number 8. So we're going to take these little green sleeves. This is not in color, but I'm going to show you those little green, kind of a sleeve, I'd call it, washer sleeve combination. Take those off. There's a little stainless sleeve inside of the green sleeve. That one came off with it, and this one is not, so I'm going to have to jiggle that off. So I want to jump back to the beginning just for a second here. These are the parts you get. They're labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I think they skipped the I and the J. And they are referenced, like there's H in blue, H, one part. So they are referenced as we go through here. Just wanted to set that up for you guys and girls. So we're going to take out this old stuff. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure if it shows you to remove this screw. It just has a little dotted thing pointed up. And we find a new part there and 2 of those there, and it looks like we're starting to put things back together. So replacing these old ones with some new ones. I will actually tell you why I do like to use the impact. It's not a drill. That's a drill there. This is impact because it breaks the screw loose, in my opinion, better than just using hand turning it. And sometimes if you're not perfectly holding the screwdriver or pressing down, you start stripping out this, like the Phillips head, like the cutout where the tool goes. So I like the impact myself. You just have to be more careful with it so you don't, because it has that power. Alright, so that's going to come out. And these, of course, will come out. And those are your new pieces that are going to go in. Okay? Those are the old ones. They weren't actually worn. I don't know, you'd have to really measure them closely to see if they were worn. But we're going to replace them. I took a little, actually I used electrical contact cleaner, it doesn't really matter. Blew out this hole where the threads are. All this is plastic stuff that's threaded. Now I will tell you one exception to using the impact tool. To start a screw in, I like a good old screwdriver so that I can feel whether it's cross-threading or not. And I will add this. To tighten it, well, there are no torque specs on these things, but to tighten it, I used that screwdriver because when you use an impact, you don't really know how tight you're getting it. You know, give or take, you don't. So hand tighten that. These are new parts here, J, and where'd it go? Oh, right here. Those are new. These are the old ones. It already has the little stainless sleeve on it. Let's put those on. Alright, here's where we transfer those little, they're not really rubber, they're some kind of silicone-y plastic rubber compound. Anyway, you're just going to pry them off with a flat blade screwdriver and put them on to the new pods. Take all these parts that I'm not going to reuse and just get them off my desk here, get them out of the way, put them in a little box or something. Make sure you aim them in the right direction and just press. See? So look carefully, those aren't pressed all the way in. Look carefully at the direction that they go, okay? It's not like slopey out, slopey out. It's slopey out, slopey in towards the middle of the machine. Here's a heads up. They can be a little bit hard to press in, so I actually lubricated them with the little spit. You can get some petroleum jelly, I guess, or whatever. But I just spit on them, shoved them in. There you go. So you see, it has to go that way because it's going to go forward in one direction. It doesn't go forward and backward. Okay, use your 1/4" driver to put these back on. Remember, have them use the picture to have them going in the right direction. Alright, see those little lines there? These are more forward. This funny looking thing is backwards. The lines are in there, okay? Not like that. Like that. Line it all up, orient it. Same here, going back in, I would use a hand, not driver. Not use the impact tool. Whoops, that's me. So, just an FYI, these are not threaded, so the first time you use them, you are cutting the threads with the screw. So go nice and easy and careful. Just tighten it up nice and tight, and don't over tight. You'll just feel it. It'll feel right. Alright, next thing is put your wings back on. I am going to put these new wings on, even though you can see there's not much wear on that at all, but I'll just keep these for spares. You should look at your Navigator every once in a while and notice these wear marks and replace these when you need to. It'll work better. There is a left and a right now because you can see these holes are offset. They're not like centered on this, and you can see this is longer part here and shorter part here. So get that right. Okay, look at this. This is the wrong way to do it. These need to be facing the other way. There you go, just like the picture. If you watched any of my videos, you know Froggy doesn't take the bloopers out. So that is correct right now. These little plugs back in. You know, I lied. They do give you some new feet, but mine are in such good shape, I'm not going to do it over again. I'll just keep those for spares. And they give you new plugs and 1/4" screws too. But I'm all good. I want to get this done. I'm not going to take that apart and put those in. Next, we're going to take off this bottom plate. That's that right there. 4 screws. Okay, that's off. Put it to the side. Now take note here. It says or the 4 screw, which is what I just did, or the 6 screw. So this kit will fit 2 different models apparently. So I did that. Yours might be that. Now two screws. It looks like it holds this cover on, I think. Let's find out. In mine, those 2 screws are actually the same length as the other 4 I took off. So just pay attention on yours. Okay, here's where we are. This piece comes off like that. What we're getting down to is replacing the wheel. So old wheel comes out, new wheel goes in. It has a little pin on one end, so make sure you're putting it in the right direction. Alright, you have this little cutout. Alright, so here, pay attention. This has a right on it and a left. See the little R in the middle? That's facing that way. This also, the new one, has a little tiny R. Take my word for it. I don't know if I can focus that much, but there's an R there and an L there. And you can see this has got ball bearings, which should be better as long as they don't get gummed up. So this should spin easier. And you can see that curve is like that, and this curve here is like that also. So, and it's a little bit wider too. So just take that one out, put that one in. These things will come off, so don't let them come off. You want them to put this all in as a unit. Actually, the old one did have ball bearings in it too, but not quite as many. This one has more. I looked at that thing and I thought it was broken, but then I looked at this schematic And it appears to me that right there above my nail, that one also has like a little carve out on it. And you look on that one there, it has like a little chunk out of it. So I guess that's okay. So this goes back together with the cover. And on mine, that's going to be the 2 screws that I did. Okay, your new piece is in. This goes back next. It has a right and a left. Match it up with the right and the left underneath. Make sure that little red screen gets captured correctly in those slots. I marked that picture there with a green arrow where this could have been illustrated a little bit better, I think, because that piece is that piece. 2 screws go in. I already got those there and there. It's still a little funny. To me, something's out of order. Because when you get down to 28, this is already inside. So, from here to here, I think that the schematics are a little bit funny. Okay, then this one I call the flat plate, goes on with the 4 long screws. And then this last piece with the pods. So when that slips on there, you don't screw it down until this piece is on top. So with these middle screws, I don't know, I guess they don't get used. Froggy's not quite sure there, but I know how many screws I've got left. I've got 4 for those 4 holes, and then I need 2 more for this. So I didn't lose any screws. Okay, I've got it. So those final 4 screws for that piece there are these little short ones. Okay, so we do put in 2 middle ones, then this, and then 4 more. My kit includes these parts here, which replace these parts here, and one of mine is broken, and they're not really listed as near as I can tell, and they're not really mentioned anywhere. But I'm going to put them on because I need one anyway, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm trying to do this without breaking these parts here, and I really can't see what's wrong with this other one, except that it wouldn't stay in that position. When it was working in the pool, it would sometimes flop out. I don't know if this one's going to be any different or not. These are marked front and back, so I'm just going to pry a little more. Well, I got it out. Like I said, I don't see much difference except this one's discolored. So I'll put that new one in. I think these holes have gotten a little elongated, but I didn't get a new part for this. And it does seem to stay put a little bit better. So once it's down in the water, this should stay closed anyway. So there's not like really any pressure pulling it that way when it's working, but we'll put the other end on. Okay, I got those 2 on by gently prying, and now we just drop this onto the upper. I noticed this pin on this side had a tendency, because of the elongated hole, which is on the piece I did not get a replacement for. It tended to slip out, which is probably why this one was flopping the wrong way before. And this new one probably would have ended up the same way. What I did was I put a nylon washer, a thin nylon flat washer right there, like one of those, so it would shove it over that way a little bit more and maybe prevent it from walking out of that hole. And it still flexes okay. So we'll see how that works. So 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to attach this, and then one more for that final piece. And you'll notice there's a different design, shape, and that's where water is going to get sucked in. So to make this new style spinner spin, you need to use this new shape, I guess. Anyway, we'll use the new one. Hey, there is an adjustment. I think it's an adjustment on the spring tension of that little rear trapdoor, I'll call it that. And I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to adjust that or what it does, but if anybody knows, put it down in the comments. I'd appreciate that. It just, to me, it just looks like it changes very, very slightly changes the tension on the spring for that door. Okay? Well, I'm going to throw it in the pool and see how it works. Well, it's moving and it is sucking up some material from the bottom of the pool. I think I'm going to turn the speed up a little bit faster, and you do that just with a valve that controls the amount of suction that goes to the Navigator. I am told that that's about as fast as it's supposed to go, maybe a little bit faster. And I do have a DE leak. It's diatomaceous earth leak on my header and my filter, so my pool is a little cloudy, and I know what that is, and I've ordered a part to fix that. But in the meanwhile, I had this kit sitting here for quite a few weeks, and I never got around to it, so today I put it in, and it seems like it's successful. The real test will be if it works its way up to the shallow end. I want it to be able to climb that slope that it's on right now, and I want it to be able to work its way up to the shallow end and then turn around and go back down, and that's what it was not doing before, basically because I think the parts that would make it change direction and so on just were not up to spec. And I'm not going to touch it or anything. I'm going to just let it go and see, look at it every 10 or 15 minutes and see if it goes up to the shallow end, and then see if it comes back down. It was still doing a decent job in the deep end. My deep end is about 9.5, 10 feet because I've got a diving board, and but it wasn't getting to the shallow end. So we'll see. I will preliminary call this a success. You can buy a new one for like $350, $400. You can pay your pool store to fix it for you, probably charge you $150 or $200. So I did this for about $75. I told you that's what I paid for the kit. So now you know how to do it if you want to do it. Give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. And see you later. Be safe. Have fun. Froggy out. Bye-bye.